Okay, so we're going to talk about standing stretches. Standing stretches is any type of stretch that you want to do where you're not swinging your body, because that's dynamic stretching. These will be static type stretches, anything you can do while standing. You always want to start with your calves first, and that is as simple as putting the balls of your feet up against a block and then leaning forward into a wall, doorway, something like that, holding it for about 30 seconds. Very important to stretch the calves. They get used continually through the entire training, and it is easy to have an injury if they're not properly stretched out. So, with standing stretches, you can start with things as simple as pulling your neck down to the side, holding it. Always put an arm behind your back, really increases the stretch. You'll want to go down to the front with your neck. Now looking at the shoulders, put your palm down, and now bring this across your body this way. This stretches out your rear deltoids. Other side, hold it for 15 seconds or so. Now do it this way with your palm vertical. This stretches out the medial or outside head of your deltoids. You've all probably seen this one where you grab your tricep, you pull it down behind you. I've never been a big fan. I think it kind of hurts my shoulders. Don't do anything that makes your shoulders hurt. A way to stretch out your lats and your side, arm overhead, lean over to the side, other side. You can put your hands on your hips. You can lean a hip joint out, lean the other one out. You can also cross over your feet and then arm up in the air, lean over with your hip, really kind of thrust it out to the side there to get a stretch. This is a pretty powerful stretch for your hips. Going straight down to your toes. You make sure you can see me in the field of vision there. Just go straight down, hold it for a good 15 seconds. Get your feet farther apart, cross your arms over, and now hang down. While you're down there, you can go to left foot, right foot if you want to. I don't find those stretches to be particularly enjoyable. I just like to hang down in the center. It feels better to me. A way to stretch out your shoulder joint, get on a doorway, your heavy bag, put your arm behind it like this. You want to have the entire surface of your forearm and elbow on there, and you twist your body out. You'll do the same thing on the other side. Twist your body out. This stretches out your pecs and the front of your shoulder joint. You can also have a straight arm. This you'll feel a lot in your biceps and in your forearms. A way to stretch out the front of your shoulder is put your arm behind your back, grab your other wrist or forearm, pull it across, and hold it. Other side, pull it across, and hold it. Another way to stretch out your hamstrings is, instead of just going straight down to your toes like we've already done, you cross one foot over the other and then go down. And then after you're done, of course, you want to cross the other side. Hold all of these for about 15 seconds at least. Another thing you can do for your hip flexors is put a foot out in front of you. You really want to feel a stretch in this hip flexor area. You really want to stretch that out. A way you can increase that is by putting an arm up in the air and leaning it over. Other side. Keep a nice upright torso, because that's the only way to really feel it in this hip flexor. Arm up and over. You've all seen this one, I'm sure. Grab your ankle joint and just pull on your quads. You'll definitely feel a tight stretch in your quads. Always want to do everything equally. Now, besides these stretches, These are not prescribed stretches for the system. You want to pick up stretches from anywhere. If you go to a yoga class, if you see something on YouTube about stretching, if your friend shows you some stretches, if you get some out of a book, if you get some in any type of group class where an instructor is showing you different things, pick up along the way, maybe even write them down so you can get yourself a nice list. You won't need to refer to it really. Once you get in the swing of it, you'll have at least 3 to 4 minutes of seated stretches, 3 to 4 minutes of standing stretches, 3 minutes of the dynamic stretching where you're swinging all of your limbs in different directions, and the round will go by very quickly, but you'll be glad you at least spent the 3 to 4 minutes to stretch, because it's a great way to warm yourself up, get yourself ready, even mentally, for the more challenging rounds coming up ahead. Plus, it's crucial for injury prevention. About once a year, once every 2 years, I will try to do a session without stretching, just to have kind of a scientific control to see if the stretching is beneficial. And I always get injured when I do it. So yeah, stretching is crucial. And people say, well, aren't you supposed to get yourself nice and warmed up and then stretch, because you stretch a warm muscle rather than a cold muscle? That's true. It is better to stretch a muscle that's already been warmed up and has the blood pumping through it and has gotten a little bit more loosened up. However, that would entail adding more exercises into the system. It's hard to get going when you have to throw yourself into exercise rather than simply gently move across seated stretches, then standing stretches, then dynamic stretches. It just takes things up a notch each round and gets you in the mood. That way you never have to be in the mood to immediately throw yourself into the action. It starts so slowly, it's like easing into a warm bath. And before you know it, you're already fully invigorated for the exercise, and you've gotten the injury prevention, you've gotten flexibility out of the way, so it's never neglected. So it just has a lot of benefits by doing it first, even though, yeah, ideally for every single muscle, if it was warm, stretch is better than when it's cold. It's not that big of a deal. Don't push yourself too hard. You don't want to strain, rip, tear anything. In fact, that's why we do the stretches, so we don't do those things. But yeah, add in whatever stretches you can. You need all your body parts: calves, quads, hamstrings, hips, sides and lats, shoulders, neck. That's all just in the standing phase. Then you move on to dynamic, which will be another video, so definitely watch that one too. But pick up stretches wherever you can. Learn from everybody.